Good morning, students. This is session 2 of 8th Standard Social Science, Economics First Unit, Money, Savings and Investment. So, children, listen carefully to this session. If you have any doubts, make a note of it, which shall be clarified on the day of reopening. So, children, in our earlier class, we have seen about the barter system. So, barter system means exchange of goods for goods. So, in ancient times, before money was invented, people exchanged goods directly for other goods. So, this way of carrying out exchange is called barter system. So, instead of using the money, they exchange the commodity. Commodity means what? Products or goods. Next, we have seen about the disadvantages of barter system. So, even though it is the simplest form of exchange, there are 4 drawbacks in the barter system. So, first one is lack of double coincidence of wants. That means 2 persons, one is having sugar, another one is having wheat. So, the person with sugar, he wants wheat, but the person with wheat, he wants rice. So, what they have to do here is the person with sugar, that is person 1, has to go and exchange with some other person who have rice. Again, he have to come and exchange with person 2. So, it is a very complex process. So, that is lack of double coincidence of wants. And second drawback is lack of common measure of value. So, there is no standard measure in the product. For example, if person 1 has milk and person 2 has cloth, so if they want to exchange mean there is no standard measurement. And third drawback is lack of indivisibility. For example, person 1 has cow and person 2 has chair. So we all know that cow is expensive than chair. So we can't divide the cow to make it equal value to the chair. So it is another drawback. The next drawback is difficulties of storing wealth. Suppose if fruits is exchanged with vegetables. So both fruits and vegetables cannot be stored for longer period of time because both will get spoiled. So these are all the 4 drawbacks of barter system. So because of that, money was invented. So money is the standard measuring value for the product. So next we have seen about the evolution of money, starting from the barter system to the current. So currently we are using the plastic money like your credit cards and debit cards. So evolution means from the starting stage to the advanced stage is called evolution. Then we have seen about the history of metal coins, then about paper money, plastic cards and electronic money, that is e-money. So children, I hope you are clear with our previous session. So now let's enter into today's class. So today we are going to see about the functions and the value of money and also about the black money. So children, do you know who invented the symbol for Indian currency? So the Indian rupee symbol was designed by Mr. Uday Kumar. He belongs to Viluppuram district in Tamil Nadu. It was approved by the Government of India on 15th July 2010. So children, make a note of it. The symbol of Indian rupee was designed by Mr. Uday Kumar. He belongs to Viluppuram district in Tamil Nadu. Next, we can move on to value of money. So the value of money is meant the purchasing power of money over goods and services in a country. So value of money means the purchasing power over the products. So when you will know the value of a money, when you go to a shop and you buy a product, so depend on the price level, the value of money is determined. Thus, it is related to the price level of goods and services. So the value of money and the price for a particular product are interrelated to each other. So now let's see the 2 types of value of money. First one is internal value of money and second one is external value of money. So there are 2 types. One is internal, other one is external. So children, again I will repeat. The value of money means purchasing power over the products. So you can know the value of the money when you go to a shop and you buy a certain product. So, the price level of the product and the value of money are interrelated to each other. So, now let's see the internal value of money. So, internal, from the name itself we can get. Internal means purchasing over domestic goods and services. So, domestic means what? Within the country. So, purchasing over domestic goods and services means purchasing within the country. So, that comes under internal value of money. And second value is external value of money. So, from the name itself we can get internal means within the country. So, external means what? Outside the country. That means purchasing the foreign goods. So, the external value of money refers to the purchasing power of the money over foreign goods and services. So, I hope you are clear with this. Internal means purchasing over domestic goods. Domestic means what? Within the country. External means purchasing over foreign goods. So, foreign means outside the country. So, now let's see the definition of money. So, according to Sitovsky, Sitovsky is an economist. He told that money is a difficult concept to define, partly because it fulfills not one but three functions. So, according to Sitovsky, he is an economist. So, he said money is a very difficult concept to explain because it doesn't perform one function. So, whereas it performs three functions. So, first one is it performs as a unit of account. Second is a medium of exchange. And third one is a store of value. So, unit of account means using money we can buy a property. Second one is a medium of exchange. So, by giving a money you can buy a product. So, it acts as a medium of exchange. And third one is a store of value. That is, we can save the money for our future expenses. So, the money is a difficult concept to explain because it performs three functions. So, now let's see another definition for money given by Sir John Hicks. Sir John Hicks is also an economist. So, according to him, money is defined by its functions. Anything is money which is used as money. Money is what money does. So, according to Sir John Hicks, money can be defined based on the functions or the role it has in the economy. So, now let's move on to the functions of money. So, based on the functions, the money are classified under three categories. First one is primary or main functions, secondary functions, and the third one is contingent functions. So, children, make a note of it. The functions of money are categorized under three categories. First one is primary, then secondary, then contingent. So, under primary, it acts as a medium of exchange and a measure of value. Then secondary is store of value, deferred payments, and then transfer of value. And contingent functions are basis of credit, income distribution, equalize marginal utility. So, now let's see the definition for each functions in detail. So, first is primary or main functions. So, the important functions of money performed in every economy are classified under main functions. So, the important functions come under the primary functions. So, what are the important functions? The three important functions of money are, first one is medium of exchange, then measure of value, and then store of value. So, medium of exchange means you all know, by giving money you can get money in return or else you can buy any product. And second one is measure of value, a common denominator that can be used to express the worth. So, a common denominator means, so while filling a bank challan, you would have noticed that you will mention the denominations. For example, if there is 10 100 rupees note and 5 200 rupees note means you will mention 100 into 10 and 200 into 5. So, it acts as a common denominator that is used to express the worth. Next one is store of value. So, store of value means we can save the money for our future use or future expense. So, these are all the three main functions, that is the primary functions of money. It acts as a medium of exchange. That means using money you can buy a product. and next one is measure of value, and third one is store of value. So now let's move on to the secondary functions. So secondary functions, first one is standard of deferred payments. So standard of deferred payments means money helps the future payments too. For example, if you are borrowing a money from another person, so now you are placing yourself under an obligation to pay the specified sum of money on the specified date. So when you are borrowing a money from another person, you have to sign an agreement that you will repay it after the particular period of time. So money as a standard of deferred payments. So when you repay, you have to pay along with the interest. So this is the secondary function. The next secondary function is store of value or store of purchasing power. So what do you mean by store of value or purchasing power means? The savings were discouraged under barter system as some commodities are perishable. So which can be destroyed easily. So as we have seen earlier, the fourth drawback of barter system is I have explained using fruits and vegetables. So when fruits and vegetables are exchanged, what happens? We cannot store it for much longer period of time because both will get spoiled. So that is the meaning of perishable. Whereas after the invention of money, that is after the introduction of money, it helps in the savings. So we can save the money for future because money is not perishable. So money will not get spoiled. So we can save it for the future. Whereas during the barter system, the savings were discouraged. So children, I hope you are clear with this. So the next function is transfer of value or transfer of purchasing power. So money makes exchange of goods to distant places as well as abroad possible. It was therefore felt necessary to transfer purchasing power from one place to another. So with the invention of money, we can even transfer it to foreign countries. Whereas during the barter system, the commodities were exchanged. So it is very difficult to transfer to other countries. So whereas money can be transferred to other foreign countries also. Abroad means foreign countries. So I hope you are clear with the secondary functions. So now let's move on to the third function, that is contingent function of money. Contingent function of money. So what are the contingent function means? First one is basis of credit. So we all know that in our last session I have told what is the meaning of credit money or bank money. So example is check. So the check has equal importance to that of money. And the second one is increase productivity of capital. So the money increase the production process in a country. The third one is measurement and distribution of national income. So we can measure the national income of a country. So national income means what? The GDP, that is gross domestic product. So the GDP depends upon the production of a country, whereas the production depends upon the capital. So these are all the contingent functions of money. So I hope you are clear with this. So now let's move on to another important term, that is inflation. So inflation means the arrow is rising up. So that means the price level are rising. So inflation refers to the prices are rising and the value of money will fall. So inflation means prices are rising. So deflation means the arrow comes down. That means the prices are falling. So deflation means the prices are falling, the value of money will rise. So children, make a note of these two important terms. Inflation means the prices are rising. Deflation means the prices are falling. So now let's move on to the savings in banks and investment. So now let's see the savings in banks and investments. So what is the difference between the saving and an investment? So savings represent that a part of a person's income which is not used for consumption. For example, if a person is earning a monthly income, so apart from his consumption, he will save a part of his income. So that is called savings. that is for future use or any urgent use, emergency use. Whereas investment means he is investing to get a larger amount in return. So investment means he is investing in some mutual funds or in insurance in order to get a huge amount in return. Next, savings are made to fulfill short-term or urgent requirements. So as I said before, a part of the income will be saved in a bank deposit which can be withdrawn if there is any emergency. So whereas investment is made to provide returns and help in capital formation. So investment means we are investing to get a high returns. So next is the risk is low in savings because you are depositing in your account. So when there is an emergency, you can withdraw it. Whereas the investment is very high risk because sometimes the shares may go down or there are many fraudulent cases we can see nowadays. So there are high risk in investment when compared to savings. And next one is the returns. So returns, no or less. So you will get only less interest. So when you deposit a specified amount in a bank, you will get only less interest. Whereas when compared to the savings in investment, you can get high returns. So you can get high returns. One is liquidity. So the liquidity meaning in economics means we can get the cash as soon as possible. So it is highly liquid. Savings are highly liquid means we can withdraw the amount whenever it is necessary. Whereas investment are less liquid. That means only after the particular period of time you can get the returns. So it is less liquid. So highly liquid means you can get the cash on time, whereas less liquid means after the completion of specified term only you can get the returns. So I hope you are clear with the comparison between the savings and investment. So savings means you are saving it for urgent requirements or emergency requirement. The part of the income you are saving. Whereas investment means purposely you are saving to get high returns in future. Next one is savings are made to fulfill the short term or urgent requirements. Whereas investment means your main motive is to get high returns. And next it is low. The risk involved in savings is low. Whereas the investment is high risk. So as I mentioned, some fraudulent cases nowadays you have seen. Next one is returns. So it will be less returns because the bank deposit will give only less interest when compared to investments. And then the liquidity in savings is high because you can get the cash on spot. Whereas the investment means you have to wait until the completion of the specified term. So now let's move on to savings. So savings are defined as a part of consumers' disposable income which is not used for current consumption, rather kept aside for future use. So that what I told. So we will set aside a part of our income which is not used for consumption for future requirements. So that comes under savings. So now let's see the ways to save money. So there are several ways to save the money. First one is student saving account, savings deposit, current account deposit, and then fixed deposit. So these are all the several ways to save money in a bank. So now let's see it in detail. First one is student saving account, which means some banks offer savings account for young people enrolled in high school and colleges. So some banks, they offer the students to create a account in their banks. The main feature of these account is to maintain zero balance. So the main feature is you can open an account with zero balance. The next one is savings deposit. The savings deposit are opened by the customers to save the part of their current income. So they will open the account in the bank to save their money. The customers can withdraw their money from their account when they require it. So they can withdraw it according to their requirements. The bank also gives a small amount of interest to the money in the saving deposit. So the bank will add a small amount of interest at the end of each month or at the end of the 3 months to the actual amount deposited in the bank. The next one is current account deposit. So current accounts are generally opened by business firms, traders and public authorities. Current accounts helps in frequent banking transaction as they are repayable on demand. So current accounts, it can be opened only by the business firms or traders or some public authorities. So it is related to some business account. Next one is fixed deposit. The fixed deposits accounts are meant for investors who want their principal to be safe and yield them fixed yield. That means they will deposit a particular amount for a particular period of time. So that is called fixed deposit. The fixed deposit is also known as term deposit because they are depositing for some particular period of time. For example, you say 1 year or 2 year. So after the 2 year, along with the principal and the interest amount will be added to the principal and you will get in return. So that is called fixed deposit. As normally they are fixed for specific period. So as I told, it is for a specific period of time. It is also known as term deposit. So children, I hope you are clear with the methods to save money in bank. So now let's move on to benefits of savings. So what are the advantages of saving? So first one is you will be financially independent sooner. So when you start saving means there is no need for you to depend on others for money. And second is you would not have to worry any unforeseen expenses. So if there is any emergency requirement means, so there is no need of worries because you are already saved some amount. So you can withdraw it whenever it is necessary. And the next point is in future you will have a financial backup in place if you lose your job. So in future if there is any circumstances where you lose your job means there is no need to worry because you already have some backup, financial backup. Next is you will be prepared if your circumstances change. So that what I told, if there is any emergency requirement or some medical expense, so you will be prepared because already you have some amount in your deposit. You will be more comfortable in retirement. So after retirement with the financial backup, you can lead a comfortable life. Save today for better tomorrow. So start savings from today to lead a better life in future. So children, these are all the benefits of savings. So next is intensity to save among the students. So how the students can be motivated to save the money. So first one is teach them about the taxes and accounting. So the student must be aware about the taxes and budgeting and accounting. And next is involve them in grown-up money decision. So in a family, the children must be involved in making a budget for family expenses. And the next one is encourage them to apply for scholarship. So by encouraging them to apply for scholarship, they will have a mind set up to save the money. Then help them in budget and apply for student loans. So we have to discuss with them regarding the loans offered to the students for higher studies so they can know about the budget. Next one is teach them about personal savings. So we can give them a small piggy bank to save their small amount in that. So these are all the intensity which we can insist upon the students or the children to save the money. So next we can move on to investments. So what is investments? So as we have seen earlier, saving means keeping aside a part of the monthly income for future consumption. Whereas investment means we will purposely invest in some mutual funds or insurance to get a high returns. So now let's see the definition for it. The process of investing something is known as investment. The process of investing something is known as investments. It could be anything. So you can invest your money or your time or your efforts or other resources that you exchange to earn returns in future. So it can be any commodity, example your money, time or resources. So which in turn will yield you a high returns. So investments can be made in different investment vehicles like stock, bonds, mutual funds, insurance, annuities, so deposit account or any other securities or assets. So these are all the different ways to invest the amount. For example, in stock market or in bonds, mutual funds, insurance, and annuities means a sum which is paid to a person which can be get in return after a completion of 1 year. So annual means after the completion of 1 year. So deposit account. So these are all the ways to invest the money. So next is, an investment always comes with risk of losing money, but it is also true that you can reap more money with the same investment vehicle. So as I said, in the comparison between the savings and investment, savings has less risk because you can withdraw the amount which you have deposited, but the investment has more risk. For example, the shares can go down, or there are many fraudulent cases nowadays we are seeing. So there is high risk in investing of losing money. So there is a risk of losing the money. At the same time, the investment can provide more money also. It has a productive nature that helps in economic growth of the country. So the investments helps in the economic growth of the country. So next we can move on to black money. So far we have seen about the savings and investment. So now let's move on to black money. So what is black money? So black money is a form of unaccountable money. So we all know that it is a duty of a citizen to pay taxes to the government. But some people will show a false account. So that is called black money. So black money is a form of unaccountable money. So they will show a false account for the purpose of tax evasion. So tax evasion means for reducing the tax. Black money is mostly created by business people. They do not show the actual income earned in their economic activities. So as I told before, they will show a false account to reduce the tax. Next is, they show only a part of income earned for the purpose of tax evasion. So they will show only a part. They will not show the original income. So they will show only a part of their income for the purpose of tax evasion, means for the reduction of tax. So next, the black money is accumulated by the criminals, smugglers, hoarders, tax evaders and other antisocial elements of the society. So the person who are having the black money are named as criminals, smugglers, hoarders, tax evaders and antisocial elements in the society. So next is, the root cause for increasing rate of black money in the country is lack of strict punishments. So why a lot of people are having black money means because there is no strict punishments are implemented in the country. So next is the effects of black money on economy. So what are the effects? First one is dual economy. So dual economy in terms of developed sector on one side and underdeveloped sector on the other side. So because of black money, we have two economy. One is developed sector. Another one is underdeveloped sector. The person who show lot of false account will come under developed sector. So the person having the black money, highest amount of black money comes under developed sector. Whereas other one is underdeveloped sector. Next is economic slowdown. So because of this, there is a slowdown in economy. Tax evasion, thereby loss of revenue to the government. So because of the false account which they are producing, so there is a loss to the government, that is tax evasion, that is reduction of tax. The next effect is undermining equity. So undermining equity means because of that, because of the black money, there is no equal economic growth in the society. So next one is widening gap between the rich and the poor. So because of this black money, there is a wide gap between the rich society and the poor society. So it creates a gap between the rich and the poor. So the rich will become richer and the poor will be poorer. So next one is lavish consumption spending. So lavish means very luxurious or very rich spending. Next is distortion of production pattern. So because of the black money, there will be a slight distraction in the production sectors. The next one is distribution of scarce resources. So the economic problem is to match the limited resources to the unlimited wants and needs. So there will be a slight distraction in meeting the unlimited wants and needs. Next is effects on production. So the production process will be affected because of black money. So children, these are all the effects of black money on economy. And next, children, I hope you are aware of this information. In India, on 8th November 2016, the government of India announced demonetization. So demonetization means withdrawal of all 500 and 1000 rupees banknotes against black money. So to take an action against the black money, Indian government announced the demonetization. Demonetization means withdrawal of 500 and 1000 rupees note on 8th November 2016. So I hope you are aware of this information. So children, now let's see what are the steps taken by the government against the black money. So first one is, under pressure from India and other countries, Switzerland has made key changes in its local laws governing assets foreign allegedly stashed in Swiss banks. Allegedly means confirmed or declared. Stashed means hidden. So the money which were hidden in the Swiss bank in Switzerland. Next is special investigation team appointed by the government on the directions of Supreme Court on the black money. They appointed a special investigation team. And next one is demonetization. So demonetization means withdrawal of the currency. For example, the 500 and 1000 rupees notes. So these are all the steps taken by the government against the black money. So now let's see some legislative framework in India against black money. So some legislative framework in our Indian Constitution against the black money. So first one is Prevention of Money Laundering Act passed in the year 2002. So Prevention of Money Laundering Act was passed in the year 2002, which was against the black money. Second one is Lokpal or Lokayukta Act. Third one is Prevention of Corruption Act was passed in the year 1988. Prevention of Corruption Act was passed in the year 1988. Next, the Undisclosed Foreign Income and Asset Bill. Imposition of tax was passed in the year 2015. The Undisclosed Foreign Income and Asset Bill. Next, Benami Transactions Prohibition Act passed in the year 1988, amended in 2016. So, the original act, that is Benami Transaction Act, was passed in the year 1988, but it was amended. Amended means some changes have been made to the original act, and it was amended in the year 2016. Next, the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act was passed in the year 2016. The Real Estate Regulation and Development Act was passed in the year 2016. So children, make a note of the year in which the act was passed. So these are all the act which was passed against the black money in our Indian legislature. So I hope you are clear with this. So now let's see some textbook pages related to our today's class. So first one, we have seen about the value of money. So value of money is the purchasing power. And I told that the value of money and the price of the product are interrelated to each other. Then the Indian rupee symbol was designed by Mr. Uday Kumar. And then the two types of value is internal and external. Internal means domestic, external means foreign goods. And next we have seen about the nature of money. So the definition of money was given by two economists. One is Sitowski, another one is Sir John Hicks. So next we have seen about the functions of money. So based on the functions, it is categorized under three. First one is primary or main functions. So in that we have medium of exchange and measure of value. And secondary function, it is a standard of deferred payments and store of value or purchasing power and transfer of value or transfer of purchasing power. Then contingent function, basis of credit, increase of productivity of capital, and then measurement and distribution of national income. So I have explained this. Then we have seen the two important terms. Inflation means increase in price level. Deflation means decrease in price level. Then we have seen the definition for savings and what all the saving deposits available in the bank. Next, we have seen the benefits of saving and how the savings can be insisted among the students. And then we have seen about the investment. So investment, different types of investment vehicles are like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and then insurance. So these are all the different types of investment vehicles. Then we have seen the comparison between the savings and the investments. So this is the comparison. So savings means we are saving a part of our income. Investment means purposely we are saving to get a high return. And then it is for urgent requirement. So savings means we can withdraw it if there is any emergency. Whereas investment means after the completion of specified term only we can get the returns. Then the risk is low, whereas in investment the risk is high. And then the returns will be less depending upon the interest of the bank. But in investment the returns will be high when compared to savings. Then liquidity. So liquidity is, it is highly liquid. That means we can get the cash when it is necessary. But it is less liquid because it requires time. So next we have seen about the black money, the effects of black money, and what are the acts passed by the government against the black money. So children, with this session, your first lesson in economics, that is money, savings and investment, is completed. So try to answer all the book back questions with the help of two session videos, that is session 1 and session 2, and refer your textbook also. So now it's time for questions. So let's see some evaluation questions. In case of any doubt, you can go through the whole session video. So first question is, define black money, differentiate savings and investments. What is the value of money? What are the effects of black money on economy? Mention the types of bank deposits. So children, answer all these questions in the separate notebook which you are maintaining for social science. If you have any doubt, you can go through the whole session video. So children, save today for better tomorrow. So have the habit of saving not only money but also the energy as well as our natural resources. So with this session, the first unit, money, savings and investment, is completed. Thank you.